Hi, I'm Nan Simonsen, and I'm puttering a bit today. Spent time in the garden. I just made a big pot of chickpeas, a couple of pounds of dry chickpeas, and I will drain them well, lay them on a cookie sheet, freeze them, not a cookie sheet, a jelly roll pan, one with little sides, and then put them in bags, Ziploc bags, a quart each, and I'll have my gourmet and organic chickpeas, and I'm making hummus from it tomorrow. Well, today I realized I need some more dressing, some more salad dressing, and I have a number of them on my channel that I really enjoy, but I love the serendipitous way this one came about. I have several groups that I run, support groups, and one of our support groups, a person, and I can use her first name, Cheryl, said, oh, I spent a week with Chef John Nowakowski, and he does a retreat, and it's cooking and health and exercise, and I believe it's in Florida, and what was it? You can find it on his website, Chef John Nowakowski, and it's going to be spelled here in the description. And she loved it, and she said, oh, one of the gems that I came home with was a new salad dressing. And of course, here we were in a support group, but it's support for health and goals setting, and I'll just say getting rid of self-limiting beliefs as it relates to evolving. And what we try to evolve to with most of my groups is a whole food, plant-based lifestyle and the lifestyle modalities of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. I wrote my book, Aging Powerfully, just before turning 70. I'm 73 and almost a half now. And it's about these things. So when I heard about this salad dressing, I thought, oh boy, I want another salad dressing that has made him, it hasn't made him famous, but the salad dressing became famous. There was a retreat center, the Regis Retreat Center, and Dr. Frank Sabatino was involved in it, and Chef John Nowakowski was involved in it, and he was involved for nearly 20 years there. And one of the dressings, and he tells the story, oh, you got to look at this too. I'm jumping around a bit, but that's kind of what I do. Part of that serendipity is that I listen to Chef AJ all the time, and yet I hadn't heard this interview from 3 years ago. And the interview, the title of the interview, just go to Chef AJ Live and Chef John Nowakowski, and I'm going to spell that for you, Nowakowski, now cow, but KOW, ski, SKI. And it's a great interview, and he makes cream of broccoli soup in this very simple way, very chefy way. And when he was at the Regis, and I may not even have that name right, it's now closed, but the Regis Health Spa, or Health and Spa, he said that they did different dressings, all whole food, plant-based, and I believe possibly even salt, oil, and sugar-free. You will see that this has sodium, but not added salt. And he said they had a lot of different dressings, and then he put this dressing out, and people the next day said, well, where's the dressing? And he said, well, we rotate. Oh, but we want that dressing. And at that time, he called it his mustard dressing, or his tahini dressing, or his Regis dressing. So I looked all that up, Google, or even, mainly Google. And then he came up with this recipe, Tahini Mustard dressing, under Weight Watchers. For 1 point or less recommendations, they had this recipe, and it's 1 point for 1 tablespoon. Well, you're going to use several tablespoons maybe, but as the recipe says, and so I even printed it off the internet, and I've been writing all over it, but they're calling it under the Weight Watchers 1 point or less recommendations. They say this recipe comes from Chef John B. Nowakowski, who wrote a vegan vegetarian cookbook. Well, I went right to Amazon to order it. I found one. It's not actively being published now, but you can get it on his website. I found one for $8.98, so I ordered it immediately because all of the others were $30 and $40 and $50. And 2 days later, Amazon wrote me back and said, "We've canceled your order." Apparently, whoever was selling it for $8 saw that others were selling it for a lot more. So I went back on today and they're all back up. That, I don't know about mine, but I didn't get it, and now they're $39 again. So, but I thought it would be fun to see what recipes he used in that health spa, using ingredients that we love and doing them beautifully and keeping people coming back. So as it also says, this dressing is great in salads, falafels, steamed vegetables, and more. Try it, you'll love it. If you can't find some of these ingredients in the local supermarket, try the health food store. And this was from Weight Watchers. And I will put the link for that, and I'll put the link for Chef AJ's interview. So let me just make this. All right, super simple. And as far as I am, as a whole food plant-based culinary trainer and eating plant-based for more than 6 years, these ingredients I knew very well. And so we're going to start with, oh, you know what? I was going to say it, but I will say it. I'm going to put you on hold because I just realized that there's one major ingredient here that he said when you make this dressing, unless you have a high power blender, and I do, that's the Vitamix, he said you want to put this ingredient in first. What is it? Tahini, a half a cup of tahini. What is tahini? It's sesame, well, you can call it butter, but it's ground sesame seeds. And I didn't get that out. So I'm gonna be right, all right, I'm back. So before I came back on, I said, Alexa, what are the benefits of sesame seeds? Because what we're offering in this dressing is not a fat-free dressing, nor a sodium-free dressing, but there's no salt, oil, or sugar. Alexa, sesame seeds. Never mind. I should have known when I said her name and explained what I said that she would be thinking about what to say, and she was. Okay, so I get my organic tahini, which is ground sesame seeds, from Trader Joe's. It's well priced. I think this is $3.95 or something, but you can get it from almost any health food store for sure, but most stores. And this one is organic. I like just about everything I can find organic because so many things are sprayed or fertilized with fertilizers that are that use materials that I don't want in the soil, therefore in the roots, therefore in the plant. So I just go organic when I can. If I can't, I'd rather eat the whole food plant-based vegetables, fruits, seeds, nuts, legumes, grains, tubers, than not eat them at all. So this is what it looks like. Smells fabulous. And you can say this is instead of the oil. So is there fat? Yes, there is. But try asking your Alexa or your Safari or your Google for the benefits of sesame seeds, and you'll see that it is unlike, for example, oil that has nothing but calories. And if it's cold pressed virgin olive oil, maybe some polyphenols, you're going to get more of what your body can use, the fiber, the protein, the healthy oils when you eat the whole food. So I've just put in the tahini, and now I'm just going to go ingredient by, well, actually, he said put in the water and then get the blender started. Now, you know what, I'm not gonna do that. You do that if your blender is not a strong one. Put the tahini in first, put the water in next, but I'm just gonna keep going because the Vitamix is It's a very, very strong blender, and that's one of the reasons I like it. Stone ground mustard. You can use whole grain mustard. You can use Dijon mustard, but the stone ground mustard I use is from Westbury. It's natural, it's organic, and you can even buy a low sodium or no sodium Westbury mustard. So I'm putting that in, and all the ingredients are on the recipe. Then I'm adding lemon juice, nice fresh lemon juice. My house was on a garden tour this last weekend. More than 800 people came through Saturday and Sunday between 9 and 5 both days. And I had a beautiful Meyer lemon tree in the front yard, a bistro table below it, really pretty scene. And I have a gardener once a week, and he came, well, Thursday, this couple of days ago. And I asked him, because this is May, it's Southern California, the lemons are starting to get too soft, falling off and rotting. And I asked him to pull them all off. And now I will juice quarts and quarts and quarts and quarts and freeze them in 2-cup containers. So that was freshly squeezed Meyer lemon juice. Eureka is fine, other lemons are fine, but I just love the Meyer lemons. And the next ingredient he has is rice syrup. Instead of rice syrup, I'm just using organic maple syrup. I could have used organic date syrup. I could have maybe used date paste. I wanted to stay as close to what he's doing as possible, that I didn't want to buy rice syrup, so I didn't. Okay, we've done that. Oh, and then I'm using Bragg aminos. Now, Bragg aminos is simply soy, and this is non-GMO soy. I don't think there's salt. Is there salt? Yeah, maybe there is salt. So, no, vegetable protein from soy, beans, and water. That's it. But it has a lot of sodium, 310 milligrams per teaspoon. But this over a 20-ounce or more dressing isn't that high per. But this is not no sodium. So we've got the Bragg's liquid aminos, which is a soy substitute. I can't do soy sauce. Well, I wouldn't do it unless I got it organic. I can't do it because of the gluten. I can't have gluten. And so I use tamari, and that's usually what I would do, my gluten-free, low-sodium tamari. But I wanted to see, because in his video, in all of them, he uses Bragg's aminos. I haven't seen him use it instead of, or soy instead of it. So I just wanted to try and stay close to what he's doing. And a couple of tablespoons of chopped parsley, and let me make sure I have everything. I'm going to be putting in a dash of cayenne and a couple of teaspoons of garlic, and that's what I didn't put in yet, but I'm going to talk to you about my garlic. This is something you may want to consider doing. There are places where you can get organic garlic, onions, garlic, shallots, chives, leeks, red onions, white onions are all part of the allium family, and they're actually very, very healthy. Well, when I buy my garlic, I've always bought it by the big cloves and then skin them and use them at the time. Tammy of Nutmeg Notebook showed us that she could get organic garlic, 1.5 pounds of it from Costco. And I thought, what would I ever do with that much? Well, she bakes it all. She actually roasts it all. And I would recommend that you simply go to Nutmeg Notebook Roasted Garlic, and she'll tell you how to do that. Well, that's what I did. Big sheet pan of 1.5 pounds of roasted garlic, no oil, and it roasts. This is the last little bit here, it roasts in, well, this isn't the last little bit of the pound and a half. It roasts beautifully. And when you roast garlic, it sweetens it. It doesn't have that bite that the raw garlic has. So I'm just gonna put this all in here. It calls for a couple of teaspoons of minced garlic, but I don't have to do that. It's gonna turn it into a liquid with the Vitamix. And then what do you do with it? Well, she showed, and I do this now. The little, I'm gonna go away a minute. Sorry, now I'm on a roll. Okay. These little trays I've had for quite a while. They're from a company, Tovolo, and my spatulas are Tovolo. I heard about them from Jane and Ann Esselstyn. They use them all the time. Well, these are square ice cube trays. I don't care about square ice cubes, but I love the idea that they each hold 2 tablespoons. So when I buy a lot of tomato paste, I'll smear the tomato paste in here, bam, 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 freeze it, put those frozen square cubes in a Ziploc freezer bag. This one happens to be a gallon. I would just use a quart, and then take it out as I need it. It's really handy because 2 tablespoons is 1/8 of a cup, meaning 2 of those cubes is 1/4 of a cup. 4 of those cubes is 1/2 of a cup. So you can pull out your frozen cubes. I do that with alfalfa. Well, we also do it with this, and I get to show you because I stored the little cubes in here, but took out a couple of trays. I did 3 trays for the 1.5 pounds. And if you look at this, you can actually sort of see my process here. Can you see this? This is going to come out. They're frozen solid. I'll put them back. I'll wash this when you're finished watching all this. I don't want to put it in there because this has been around a while. Okay, I'm going to put this in this little container, which has a seal, put it back in the refrigerator. The rest of these will be in a Ziploc bag. But do you see the point of this? It's so easy to have garlic at your fingertips for every recipe all the time. And it's roasted garlic. I'm rinsing my hands. It's roasted garlic, so it's really easy to work with. So now I have the added, I'm going to say flavor profile of roasted garlic rather than just raw garlic. Okay, I'm going to, did I do everything that I'm supposed to? Let me make sure. I did. I had water, lemon juice, sesame or tahini, the maple syrup or rice syrup, stone ground mustard, liquid aminos. Yep. And then we just blend it and store it. I have a bottle here. I like saving bottles, and this one is from Burpees, and so most likely it was from the, or not Burpees, Bubbies. Most likely it was from their fermented cauliflower. Fermented cabbage, meaning sauerkraut. Don't think that if you're looking for probiotics and you buy pickles for the fermentation or sauerkraut for the fermentation, that you're going to get that if you're buying them in a jar on a shelf. It doesn't work that way. They have to have probiotics, living probiotic, living organisms. They have to be fermented and then refrigerated, and buy them that way and you get the fermentation. Miso also gives you fermentation, so you use it. And I heard him point this out, and I didn't know that. So watch that video with him and Chef AJ. He pointed out that miso, which is a fermented food and has all these really good gut bugs for your microbiome, should be added after cooking. I didn't know that, because if it's not, the bugs are killed, and so you're getting it as a decent food, but not for the probiotic benefit. Okay, here we go. Did I turn it on? Yeah. Just give me a minute. smells so good. He says in his video with Chef AJ, and Chef AJ agrees 100%, when people are looking to change their diet, oh, and while I'm thinking about this, if this gets too thick for you, just add more water, because it notes on the recipe, it notes in the Weight Watcher recipe, and he mentioned it, that if you want it to be more of a liquid dressing, just add a little water, but after it sets up so you can see if it is going to thicken. And the tahini is a bit of a thickener, so it's going to thicken a bit. That's it. That's all we have to do. So, as, I don't know if I finished that sentence, as he and Chef AJ said, the sauce is what makes a dish. You can make just about anything. Picture a big roasted potato. You can eat a pound of potato for less than 400 calories. I don't count calories, I just know that if I want to stay full, I eat a lot of whole food starches, a lot of vegetables on them, but I almost always put some kind of a wonderful sauce, my own tofu sour cream all the time. That's on my website, Simonsen.com. And, okay. So, where is that? Oh, I put it aside. Well, I'm not going to do that. I usually will whip it one more time, and for a second to clean the blades, the centrifugal force will send everything from the sides. I will do that, and I will scrape the rest in the jar. By the time I clean these sides, I've usually gotten about 2 tablespoons more. So it'll be a little bit fuller. And look at the dressing. This is going to be so delicious on a salad. I eat a huge salad every day. Oh, that is just delicious. I can see why they said to him at the Regis, wait a minute, where's that dressing? It's delicious. So give it a try. That's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, do what they always say on social media. Thumbs up, subscribe. Consider Aging Powerfully, my book that's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and other places. Because I give recommendations on aging with power. I feel that I'm aging backwards since going whole food plant-based and beginning as a lifestyle medical coach, embracing these concepts for myself, and that's why I wrote about them. That's all. Take care of yourself, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.